recorded on Christian McBride's new Jawn tour in Tokyo, Japan. This is The Art of Music Tech with your host, Fela.
Let's go, and welcome to the Art of Music Tech podcast. I'm your host, Fela, and I'm doing a special on-the-road edition from Tokyo, Japan. Once again, thank you, everybody, for listening to the Art of Music Tech, listening on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, everybody who's around. And yes, I'm on tour currently with Christian McBride's new Jawn. And today, I got a special guest who is the reed section of new Jawn, Marcus Strickland. Hey, Marcus.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm going to brag about you right quick.
Oh.
Okay, hold on. Marcus is currently holding down tenor sax, soprano sax, bass clarinet, for new Jawn. Bass clarinet. That's so dope. Just making it so cool. The Florida native has been tearing up the New York City music scene for over 2 decades, playing with artists like Roy Haynes, Jeff Tane Watts, Lonnie Plaxico, right. Yeah. All right. Dave Douglas, Chris Dave. Marcus also has 7 albums under his belt as a band leader and is currently signed with the legendary Blue Note Records with an 8th album on the way in the mixing process right now.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes, I can't wait. I've heard some samples. This is awesome. Okay, and welcome to the show, Marcus Strickland.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for taking some time out of the tour life.
Yeah.
It's hard.
It's cool.
It'd be hard out here sometimes.
Yeah. It's quite stressful to travel and all, but I love it. You gotta love it.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I do. And traveling with such a great band, you guys kill it every night.
Yeah.
Christian killing it on bass.
Yeah,
you on the reeds, Josh Evans
Definitely.
on
It's getting better
trumpet.
and better.
Yeah.
It's always like wine. It just gets better and better.
Exactly. Now sheet weights on drums. It's just been a wonderful time. We started off in the Netherlands. No. New Zealand. And New Zealand, Wellington. We did one show.
Yeah.
Got incredibly jet lagged.
Yeah.
We crossed the international date line, so we were about 16 hours.
Yeah, that was a trip. Didn't really have time to check it out. I wish I could.
I know, right? It was just a one-nighter, and everybody I know that tours is always like, oh, you really got to check out New Zealand. Like, but we'll get back there one day.
Right.
And then we went off to Australia, Melbourne. You played with the Drumheads.
Oh yeah, that was great. That was a nice surprise. I didn't know that it was going to crisscross perfectly like that. That was perfect. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, we got to hang, eat some barbecue with the Texas guys.
Oh yeah. And they approved.
Oh,
that was a very, very hard test right there. Bobby Sparks, who barbecues himself, he was like, all right, let's see if this is proper. But they gave some approval. They also gave us some advice. You know, like, yo, this is how we do it at home type stuff. So it's like, it was very good homage, That guy's serious. Martin Bishop, that's my boy.
Yes. You in Melbourne, please check out that brother's barbecue spot. And you played some intro music for me, some Fela that night.
Oh, yes.
With the drum heads. That's
your theme song, yo.
Fela Kuti, let's go. Yeah, so Marcus, yes, you so that's that's some different genres, I guess, between drumheads and working with Roy Haynes and Christian McBride, and it's more of a traditional route.
Oh yeah, definitely.
How is that? going between the two?
I love it. I love the fact that that I'm not. I mean, I think every artist's wish is to not be pigeonholed so that they have freedom, and I think that's one thing that's very cool about my career, how it's panned out. I've been able to play with people who are in such different arenas. You know, having Roy Haynes, who's like one of the pioneers of bebop, and has in himself is a very, very eclectic musician who plays with all kinds of different types of jazz. He played with Charlie Parker, but he also played with Eric Dolphy, who plays very out, and also Ornette Coleman, who's like the father of out. And then he plays with Chick Corea at the same time, and he's just a very eclectic musician. But yeah, he's like 90 years old. I played with him, and I've also played in like the Most Def big band, and also Bilal. I'm on his first record, and he's on my upcoming record, and Pharoah Monch is on it as well. It's just like a very beautifully developed career that I really am proud of, and I'm glad that it's actually possible to do all this stuff.
Holy cow! Bilal's first album, man. I didn't remember that. Yeah. I heard some stuff from the new one with him, and from your new album that's coming out.
Oh yeah!
Wow, that's. Again, guys, I can't wait for that one to come out. So let's start from the beginning. Your background. What did your parents do?
Sure, I was my dad is a lawyer. Well, he's just retired, and my mom just retired too. But my dad was a lawyer, and my mom was a math teacher at first, and then became a principal. And they were. I think they were both first generation college students from their families and everything. So they instilled a lot of values that are priceless in our upbringing. Mainly about where they came from and how far they've come. So that was very important. And my dad was also a drum major in. I think from middle school or high school to college. And it was in college that he switched up and said, you know what, why not make some cheddar so I can get out of this trap, He smartened up and got some cheddar, and he went into accounting and then went into being a lawyer. But that's where the musical connection was. He was an incredible drum major. He was also a DJ. So he had all kinds of records laying around the house and always playing it for us. And we were rocking our little rocking chairs back and forth to all kinds of music. And I think that's one of the things that was most priceless about my upbringing, is that my dad showed us all kinds of great music. And most of all, it was all like different kinds of music. It wasn't just the same. It wasn't all jazz or all R&B or, he played Stevie Wonder and Johnny Coltrane in the same breath, So,
wow.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. And you have a brother as well.
Yeah, I have a twin brother.
Twin brother.
Yeah, wow. That's why I probably said we sometime in there. And if you ever see me just randomly saying we, it's because I have a twin brother that I've kind of simultaneously evolved with, We both live in New York, and he's a drummer. He's an incredible drummer, and great people. If I may say so.
Yeah. You guys playing each other's bands. That's dope.
It's great. Yeah.
It's such a high level. Two people, in the same family at that level. This is such a cool to have somebody to talk to throughout this process.
Oh, yes, definitely.
It's such a
very big part of my support system right there. He's like
sure.
He's like, I know I'm going through the same exact thing, bro.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, same age, same everything. It's like, exactly what I'm doing. So,
exactly.
Wow. So who got into music first? Or like both of you guys both brothers were let's do it. We're gonna get a band together. That's it.
For some reason, we always like chose the same activity to do. Like when we were very young, we were both trying to be car engineers, design cars. We would draw cars all the time, and futuristic cars that flew and stuff like that. I guess Back to the Future was coming out around that time. So we like, yeah, I want to design cars, yeah. And then we got into football, and, he was a quarterback. I was a running back and linebacker. We did that up until I think middle school, and then noticed everybody was starting to grow a little bigger than us. It was like, okay, But at the same time, we were looking into some other extracurricular activities, and we came across instrumental music. I think because we were too shy to sing. So like we were like, hey, instrumental music, that sounds kind of cool. Let's check out those instruments. And the band teacher brought out the instruments, introducing everything, and my brother already decided he wanted to play drums, but he was forced to play trombone at first. But eventually he was like, "Bruh, I want to play drums." But he wanted to play drums like our dad. Oh, yeah. Me, I wanted to play the saxophone. When the band teacher brought out the saxophone, he brought it out last actually. It just really drew me in. Like, it was so much different than the other instruments. It was a hybrid of woodwind and brass wind. And, it just looks very shiny. All these keys, it looks like the most phallic thing sometimes. And also it's just a very mysterious instrument, and I think it attracts people who are very curious. So, I gravitated towards that. Played the alto saxophone when I was like, 11. From 11, I played the alto saxophone. I think 14, I picked up the tenor because most of the guys that I was listening to at the time were tenor players. Oh. And I had a soprano a little bit before that. And I think by the time I got into college, like maybe 2 years in, I did like the Thelonious Monk sax competition, international jazz sax competition. Uh-huh. And I actually placed. I got third place. I think I tied in third with Jaleel Shaw, if I'm...
Oh, I had a feeling.
Yeah, yeah. So, it was then that I got a little bit of money, so I was like, what do I do with this money? And I believe I bought a computer and a bass clarinet. My first bass clarinet.
Oh,
it was a very cheap one on eBay.
How old were you again?
At this time, I was probably 20. I might have been 20 years old.
So you were in school. You were in Florida still, or had you?
We had moved to New York. I'm sorry if I jumped over that. In '97, after we graduated high school, me and my brother, we moved to New York.
Both, okay, all right.
Went to the new school in New York. When we were in high school, we were at New World School of the Arts.
Okay, familiar with that.
Yeah,
out in Miami.
Yeah, so we were, from a young age, we were pretty serious about it, and by the time we got to New York, we had decided we wanted to do it as a career and use college as kind of like a network, to springboard stuff. And so I'm in college. I go to this saxophone competition and place third. I buy a bass clarinet and a computer, and that's when. And the reason for that is kind of interesting. I'd been listening to beats like the whole time. I was playing jazz gigs and stuff like that, and listening to all these beats and everything, and I wanted to get into that too. I was listening to Dilla so much, and also Madlib, and just listening to all kinds of hip hop that I grew up with in the 90s, and realizing who the production people were behind that, and getting more into that side of the music. And So I bought it. Yeah.
The jazz part was like your dad, and then you were growing up in the 90s, and hip hop was just there. I mean,
yeah,
just
it's
a
just
teenager.
There, you know?
You're gonna be that was what you listened to. So,
exactly. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So that was the melding of the two, which is now happening even more now.
Exactly. Yeah.
So all right.
And so I have this computer and a bass clarinet. The reason I bought those two is because I heard the beat accordion by Mad Lib and MF Doom, who formed Mad Villain, and Mad Villainy 1. I think that's the record that accordion is on, but the accordion was the accordion sample was slowed down, and as physics, the accordion is controlled by reeds, just like I play reeds. And when it's slowed down, it's like in the register of a bass clarinet, and to hear that rumbling and all that stuff with the beat, I was like, man, I would love to make beats that have like low woodwinds, underneath and everything, and have rapper on top, stuff like that.
Okay, I want to find this song.
Yeah,
let's YouTube it right quick.
Yeah,
I will add it in. But I want to hear it.
Definitely,
Put it in there right quick.
Yeah, definitely.
Living off borrowed time, the clock tick faster. That'll be the hour they knock the slick blaster. Dick Dastardly and Muttley with sick laughter. A gunfight and they come to cut the mix master. ICE Cole, nice to be old. Y2G Steve twice to threefold. He sold scrolls, low and behold. Know who's the illest ever, like the greatest story told.
Wow.
Keep your glory gold and glitter. For half of these niggas to take him out the picture. The other half is rich and it don't mean shit to. Feeling
okay, yeah, I hear what you're talking about. Okay, MF Doom, Mad Villain, accordion.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. Okay, so that's the inspiration.
Yeah.
For
that
the
was
laptop
and the bass clarinet.
Hey, let's get some
That's
beats.
what I got when I my prize money. So random, right? And then I got software on the laptop, Reason, and a controller. Started making beats and also recording and putting the beats together with the low woodwinds and stuff like that. Started making like woodwind chamber music for woodwinds and stuff, and putting beats to that and stuff. So that's basically where the sound of that record Nihil Novi started, but it didn't culminate until I got signed to Blue Note.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like I started my latest version of my Twilight group in 2013. Like I had another version that was like in 2005.
Yeah.
And that was like a different thing, kind of like more on the fusion side. But this one is more like I call it Black American music, where you just have all the whole encompassing lineage of our music that sprouts from the blues. Like all of that stuff is in there, and even more so on the latest record that I'm working on, you can hear like the whole encompassing culture of Black American music.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
That's cool. So with the electronic part, what gear were you using back then?
Oh, the gear I was using, I think I had a MacBook Pro. No, they didn't have Pro then, so it was a MacBook. And I had Reason, whatever version was out then, Propeller Head. And then I had an Akai, I think it was like
a 2-channel, or
it was a very small one. Like, oh no, the first one was the M Audio controller, the Oxygen 8.
Oh,
that's the first one that I used. And then I went to an Akai, which was a smaller one. And then I think I broke that one. And now I have like another Akai that's a little bigger. But yeah, that's basically the the workflow that I was using.
Yeah.
I started buying microphones. I just bought like cheap microphones and started recording into Pro Tools and
hey.
it all starts, adding up.
Exactly. You got to get those ideas down. I mean, you can't start with the super nice, boutique microphones, but it's out there where you're working towards it. But
definitely,
getting it out there and learning how to do what you need, the passion that you have found. Okay, let me expound more on this. And so that's dope. All right, cool. So from the last album, what was the inspiration for the name?
People of the Sun.
Yeah.
Or the one before that, Nihil Novi. Nihil Novi.
Yeah.
Oh, Nihil Novi, which I released in 2016. That was inspired by a phrase by King Solomon. This is BC, sometime BC, before Christ.
Oh.
King Solomon was one of the most intelligent, revered kings on earth at the time, and it's because he experienced everything that he learned. Like, it's true wisdom. It's not just knowledge. It's like wisdom. He lived his knowledge. Mm-hmm. So one of the things that he came to a conclusion with at the end of all his journey through life was nihil novi sub sole. There's nothing new under the sun. Nihil novi is Latin for nothing new, and sub sole is under the sun. So that phrase, which is in Ecclesiastes of the Bible, when I first got hip to it through my dad, he was like, yeah, he said this phrase, nihil novi sub sole, nothing new under the sun. I was like, man, that is an interesting thing to say after experiencing so many things. You, at the end of it, you're just like, there ain't nothing new under the sun. And I was in high school when I first heard this phrase, and it just stuck with me until now. Even now, I'm still thinking about it over and over again, and how relevant it is. For instance, like I think human beings, we're so caught up in the concept of making something new. Like, I got this new music. I got this new, genre. Food, or this new genre, this new everything. But really all we're doing is combining things that we're influenced by
exactly
throughout our lives. It's like, I saw that, I smelled that, I sensed that. There's all kinds of things that we're experiencing, and those things combined together create the product. And so that's kind of where I was going with Nihil Novi. I was no longer looking for something new. I was just looking for what I was. I was just like, who am I? And I just put all of that on the record. So that's a long explanation, but that's kind of how I arrived at Nihil Novi.
I mean, I know you've hit anybody who does music, and you're putting an album together, you're putting everything into it. So stuff that's been stuck with you for years. I mean, of course it's gonna come out. So the album sounds great. It was produced by Michelle and Dege Cello, which is another one of my favorites as well for years.
She's a genius.
It's just a dope sounding album, and that's out right now. Check that out on Amazon, iTunes, all the heavy shopping places for music, right?
Yeah.
That's out right now with Marcus Strickland. We're gonna stop right now because that's it. We're at our time limit. That's it. But the great thing is he's gonna be back for another edition of the Art of Music Tech podcast. So I'm looking forward to talk a little bit more about the next album and just more about music. Thank you for listening, everybody. Please share, leave comments, rate the podcast on iTunes. Check out all of Marcus's stuff, MarcusStrickland.com. You get everything.
Yeah.
You get everything there. So just go there.
All the links, everything.
You get all the links. You get up to all the social media. You can hit him up on there. And it's a great looking website too. So check it out for that too.
I made it from scratch.
Exactly. I know you do that. So yeah, please share with your friends on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Podbean. Thank you for listening. And from me and Marcus Strickland, we'll see you in the next half. Bye-bye. And let's go.
For more information of booking 23DB Productions, visit their website at 23dbproductions.com. Like and follow 23DB Productions at Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter for the latest work.